northwest is doing kind of a stair-step approach. Let's go back to Key West radar here. And you can see continue to have a lot of new convection. Now, what's happening is, if I back this up over the last 2 hours, there's multiple things that the radar is telling us here. Initially, the eye is kind of open on this. I say open. The convection is not really intense on the south eye wall here, and you see we've got a little bit of a break here. But what's happening is this eye is getting smaller and smaller now. We find the pressures are falling overnight, and it'll take 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes for the winds to pick up to what the pressure is, in the sense of it widening back up again. It's not instantaneous. Just because it falls 4, 5, or 10 millibars doesn't mean 5 minutes later we have winds instantly responding to the pressure field. It'll take time, and that's now happening. So as that happens, the eye wall's getting smaller, it's getting more intense. But what's more of an interest to me is how we have, which is expected, you've got this area, this 50-55 dBz around here, around this, like this now. This is going to be the extremely destructive eye wall, both on the northwest wall, north wall, northeast wall. So wherever this crosses the Keys, it looks like it's going to be very close to Key West. It's going to definitely be in the western eye wall, northwestern eye wall. And then as you get over here to Big Pine, that's where Jim Eds is. Last report, but just got a text from him a few minutes ago. He says the winds are screaming at Big Pine. He says the conditions there are horrendous, is the word he used. And they'll have daylight here soon, within about an hour before the eye hits them. So there's a good possibility Jim Eds may be in the eye wall here in about an hour, a couple hours, maybe about 7, 8 o'clock, as this thing continues to track up to the northwest here. And we've even seen some jogs actually to the northeast. But it's kind of just doing this stair step like this is what's happening. And we'll see how this transpires. But the eye wall is very destructive now, very intense, high category 4, and the winds are continuing to improve and get very high on this eye right now this morning. We're in Naples. I'm going to take you outside here in just a second, show you what's going on outside my door, because the wind's starting to howl here as well. But again, winds 150, 160 off in this eastern eye wall, and maybe even gust up to 170. Just again, this is about 2,000 feet above the ground, not far. And you get the convective storms, those thunderstorms forming here. And what you do is when you have winds 160, 170, you get a thunderstorm there. That heavy rain, that storm will force that wind to the ground. So it wouldn't be surprised if we have winds exceeding 150 on the Keys as this, and it's going to be very localized. It's not the whole area. It's going to be very localized. It's going to be in this area right here. It's going to be very destructive winds coming across the Keys, and then it'll also make its way up to Naples in this area this afternoon. Let's go outside here. Look what's going on out here on my balcony. Got the TV guys going here, and let's see. This is a Cat 5 hurricane door. It winds up 180. It's a super big vault door. It's like 5 inches thick. And I'll go out in the back here real quick and you can see what's going on. It's actually, I'm in between feeder bands right now. And there's winds are probably 40, 45. We've had some gusts earlier. Here's the marina this morning. The boats are bobbing. The water hasn't come up yet here. I'm sure it will increase rapidly this afternoon. The boats are just bobbing a little bit, the normal stuff. The water, the bay here is, you can see it's starting to ripple a little bit, but so far not really bad. Just about 40, 35 mile an hour winds. Every time we have a band come through, almost like the winds pick up. I can tell you above, it's going to be hard, you can't see it at night, but the winds are just east here above the ground. They're rocketing back southwest around the eye wall. But conditions will rapidly go downhill now all across southeast coast, the southwest coast, from Miami, all in Fort Lauderdale, all the way over to Naples and Fort Myers. As we get into midday and on into 7 p.m., we're going to take the full brunt of a high Cat 4 hurricane. I think we're going to have winds possibly gusting to 150. Actually, the official forecast strike is winds at 130 sustained, gusting to 160 miles an hour. I think we're going to be easily that. But as the trough grabs it this afternoon, it's going to start getting in shear as it passes Naples, and the pressures will slowly come up as it makes landfall up to our north here. But right now, we're at Naples, and we think we're going to absolutely get hammered here in the northeast eye wall sometime after lunch, probably the 1 to 3, 4 o'clock time frame, and that's what we're going to be. We're going to stay here in Naples. We think we're in about a place, but I'm in a Cat 5 rated hotel here, so we're fine. We're up in a parking garage, so we're going to be out of the storm surge when it makes landfall here. The storm surges are going 10 to 15 feet, maybe 10 feet here in Naples, 10 to 15, maybe higher down at Marco Island. To be pattern. That's where I expect the extreme destructive storm surge is Marco Island and that area, and also Everglades City. That's what's going on outside. Again, this is like, I don't know if you can see this, you probably can't. This door here is like 5 inches thick. It's like opening a vault door.